and the United Kingdom not only providing the equipment, but doing a lot of the training and so forth. That is a relationship which is close, which is intimate. It's influence in both directions.
I'm going to take a question from the third row, please. Gentleman in the middle there. Thank you.
Thank you. This is a question for the opposition. You've made your case as to why Britain's role in the Middle East is not in decline. However, in the coming decades, we're likely to see the European Union become much stronger in the international community. Do you believe that that is incompatible with Britain maintaining a strong position, or can Britain maintain a strong position and the EU have an independent, strong position?
It's the latter. I believe the latter, and I think this is exactly what's happening right now. The United Kingdom is very strong within the EU. It plays a leading role, and I think the collectiveness of the EU positions on international affairs is an important weight to be exercised, and the British influence in particular is rather special. That is one of the reasons why I argue passionately that the United Kingdom's influence is there. All it needs to do is employ it.
Okay, lady in red, please.
Following directly on from that question, if Britain weren't a member of the EU, what would their influence be? Would it be greater or weaker?
I think that, generally speaking, our membership of the European Union provides an opportunity, if there is agreement with other European countries, to have much greater weight in the world as a whole. Because Britain, France, Germany are obviously relatively small countries compared to the United States, compared to what China will become. And therefore, if there is agreement, that is sensible. But for the time being, at this stage in the development of the European Union, unanimity will only happen from time to time. As we
but
saw
Britain's bridging role,
War.
which it's much cherished over the years, that's over now.
No, I wouldn't say it's over, because I think the United Kingdom and the United States will continue to have a more intimate relationship than the Americans have with any other single country. And Britain, as part of the European Union, will be a major contributor to European policy. So that can be a force for good. It won't always be used sensibly, that power, but the potential is there, and it's for a sensible British government to use that influence.
All right, we're going to take a final question from the lady in the front row.
My question is to the prepositions. Before the British divided the Middle East, if you were to ask any Arab living in that area of their nationality, they would respond, I am an Arab. However, after the interference of the UK, you would hear, I'm a Jordanian, I'm a Lebanese, I'm a Qatari, I'm a Bahraini, etc. And to add on to that, after the US's interference, even more divisions have been formed. How could you claim that the Britain's role could ever, or influence could ever be in decline when they have left permanent scars?
I think in many ways you answered your own question, because you said how can you say that Britain's role is in decline when it's left all those scars? But that's the very proof of the negativity of its role. Raghida mentioned the Balfour Declaration and how she sees that as the beginning of everything starting to go wrong. But of course, the modern state, artificial though it may be in the Middle East, but the modern state is there to stay. And there is nothing incompatible with people in Jordan or Egypt having identity with their state as well as feeling pan-Arab.
Yes, I think you're, and it's nice to be told that Britain has this enormous power and influence, but I think you're exaggerating.
Whether for good or evil.
Well, whether for good or bad. Britain was in the region from about 1920 to 1950 as a serious major power, actually in control of people's destinies. Now, I don't believe it's arguable that but for that 30 years, the whole Arab world would have wanted to create a single nation and a single state.
Okay, I think you are absolutely right to demand that the British clean up what they've left behind. And I think they do have an influence, and it's moral imperative that they should exercise it, particularly because they have left that mess behind.
All right, thank you very much. We have reached the point in the proceedings where we're going to vote on the motion that this House believes that Britain's role in the Middle East is in terminal decline. Would you please take the voting machines? If you want to vote for the motion, that is the side represented by Baroness Falkner and Shlomo Banami, would you press button 1 and then the OK button? If you want to vote against the motion, the side represented by Sir Malcolm Rifkind and Raghida Dergham, would you press button 2? Followed by the OK button, and would you please do that now? You only have to press each button once, and we should have the result for you very shortly. All right, we can, I think, have the result now up on the screen. There it is. For the motion, 32%. Against the motion, 68%. The motion has been resoundingly defeated. The motion has been resoundingly defeated. All it remains for me to do is to thank our distinguished guests for coming here tonight. Some of you have travelled a very long way indeed. We're very grateful. Thank you to you, the audience, and thank you also to the Cambridge Union for inviting us. The Doha Debates will be back again at the end of January. Please do join us then. Till then, from all of us on the team, have a safe journey home. Good night. Thank you very much.